So what I wanted to say, hello, part 2 of my monologue, continuing at night, is that a lot of people that do not like Donald Trump and prefer Kamala say, U.S. is giving too much aid to Israel. But if you consider the fact that the presence of Israel in the Middle East prevents American soldiers from being here, and the Middle East is a very vital point. You know, it's between the oil in Europe and America, and if it wasn't for the IDF soldiers, it would be American soldiers. So imagine the service Israel is doing for America and Europe and other countries, actually controlling what's happening and fighting terrorists, and to just prevent Israel from having weapons is ridiculous. And saying we have to stop a war when we didn't start it, so how can we end it? How can you end something you didn't start? How can you allow terrorists to just do whatever they want? You know, if it wasn't for the army fighting in Lebanon and before that in Gaza, there would be rockets here. And there are rockets in the north constantly. So the hate towards Israel is ridiculous, because if you really love your country, the U.S., you realize that it's American interests. It is in American interests that America supports Israel, because Israel is fighting off terrorists that would otherwise do multiple 9/11. So we're the buffer zone. If you don't know that, you don't understand at all foreign policy. You don't understand the Middle East. And what the hell are you doing running for president, Kamala? What the hell does she understand anyway? I'm not saying Trump is a genius, but can't even compare the two. Because I like people that don't give mixed messages. And when they stand by their allies, they stand by their allies. And Kamala is just a chameleon. One day she has this policy, the next day another policy, and doesn't help us here. We need somebody very strong in the White House. And not only that, the world needs somebody very strong in the White House, because terrorism affects everybody, including the Muslims. And if we don't fight terrorism, if we stop the war and allow terrorism, like, what are we supposed to do? Stop the war and what? The terrorists are going to stop the war too? This is the point that is not very clear to all these amazingly clever, so-called clever world leaders. They don't realize if Israel stops fighting, the terrorists continue nonetheless, as we've learned from October 7th massacre. So I'm walking my dog, and to be honest, after what happened yesterday, I was so afraid to walk the dog that this would happen to me. Because I'm always thinking in the back of my mind, what if there's sirens and I'm walking in a place that doesn't have a bomb shelter, and I'm outside and the rockets are falling on me and my dog? What the hell am I going to do? So the good thing about living in the Middle East, or in Israel, at least in Israel, after a while, you get used to it. It's like people, like human beings in general, adapt. So you just get used to everything and just learn to not be afraid. So I wish everybody who's fasting tomorrow a good fast, good time to reflect upon your deeds. This year I want to stay indoors and do a lot of reading and reflecting, and and just thinking a lot about this past year, and what I want to do with my life. And wish everybody who wishes me good things, and the people who don't wish me good things, well, can't change that. We can only influence ourselves, actually. We can't really do anything to influence